Okay, guys, we're going to talk about everybody's favorite thing, decimals. The first thing I want to talk about is adding decimals, and then in a few minutes, I'm going to talk about subtracting decimals. The big thing that you have to remember when you're adding or subtracting decimals only is that you need to line up your decimal point, because what's going to happen is that you're going to subtract based on place value. We talked in class about place value and where numbers fall. So you got to remember your place value in order to do your subtraction or your addition. Now I've put today's video on grid paper so you can kind of get an idea of how the place value works. So adding decimals is similar to adding whole numbers, all right, because you're just adding. But the first thing you have to do is align numbers by place value. And a good way to do that is just to line up based on where the decimal point is. So it says start adding at the right and regroup when necessary, and just by carrying your values, bring down the decimal point into your answer. So the first number I want to show you is, and I already have a line here, I got 7.61, and I want to add, oh wait, hold on, let me erase that. Alright, let's get that back over here. And I want to add 29.49. Okay, so I have my two numbers. I have 7.61 and I have 29.49, or I have 7 and 61 hundredths plus 29 and 49 hundredths. Nothing fancy about this. I can just go ahead and start adding my numbers. It says I need to start from the right. So 1 plus 9 is 10. So I write the 0 and I carry my 1. 6 plus 4 is 10, plus my 1 is 11, and I carry the 1. 7 plus 9 is 16, plus 1 is 17, carry the 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. And don't forget to bring down your decimal point. So my answer is 37 and 1/10. Or you can say 37 and 10 hundredths. But that is our answer. Okay, just super straightforward stuff. Everybody should really have a good idea of how this stuff works. I want to do one more addition problem. And that problem is 19.000486 306 plus 21.000451772. Okay, so here are my two numbers, and don't be alarmed because it's such a big number. It's still only addition, so there's nothing fancy that you have to do. The only thing I would really recommend is that when you have numbers this big, just to make sure that you're lining up the right place values, but you don't have the same number of places in each number, go ahead and add zeros to the end of your decimal, because it does not change the value, and that way you have something in each column and you know what you're adding. So that's what I would do. So here I have 2 plus 0 is 2. 6 plus 7 is 13. I'm going to carry the 1. 7 plus 1 is 8. 3 plus 1 is 4. 6 and 5. Whoops, hold on. 6 and 5 is 11. 6 and 5 is 11. That was... Hold on, let me add my numbers here. That was 4 and then 5. Okay, 6 and 5 is 11. I'm going to carry the 1. 8 and 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. That's a 3. 4 plus 1 is 5, 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 0 is 0. Have to include those zeros. 9 plus 1 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. Plus 1 is 4. And final step, don't forget your decimal point. So, this big number plus this big number equal this big number. Make sure you add zeros to line up all your place values. Subtracting is not that much different than adding, except you're just actually doing subtraction. So I have two examples that I want to show you on this. The first one is 31.21 minus 5.2. 5.2. Okay, once again, I have some blanks, so I'm going to go ahead and add a 0 and add a 0. Now, once again, you can add zeros as many as you want to the end of a decimal, to a decimal now, and you can add as many zeros to the front of a whole number. All right, as long as you don't add them in front of the or just to the right of the decimal place, or just to the left of the decimal place. Okay, you can't add zeros in between here, but you can tack them on the end all you want and the very front all you want. It does not change the value. So, that being said, now I subtract. 0 from 1 is 1. 2 from 2 is 0. 5 from 1, I can't do that. I have to borrow from this 3. That becomes a 2. The 1 becomes an 11. 5 from 11 is 6. And 0 from 2 is 2. And we don't want to forget to bring down our decimal. So, that's the answer to that. Let's erase that one and try one more. The next problem is 27.6 minus 5.2. No, wait, hold on, I'm looking at the wrong problem. My bad. 27.6 minus 8. Ooh, minus 8. Now that's a little tricky, because if I have the whole number 8, where's the decimal in that thing? Where is the decimal for 8? Well, if you're guessing to the right of 8, you would be correct. So, 8 goes right there, and the decimal goes there. Okay? So now I'm going to add my zeros just to kind of keep my place values. And then I'm going to start subtracting. 0 from 6 is 6. 8 from 7, I can't do. I have to borrow from the 2. That becomes a 1. That becomes a 17. 8 from 17 is now 9. And I subtract 0 from 1. And I get 1. So my final answer is 19.6, or 19 6/10. Guys, don't make this any more difficult than it has to be. Adding and subtracting decimals is super easy. All you have to do is line up your decimal points. Make sure that you have enough characters in each one so all your place values line up, and then either add or subtract.